This video is to provide some general processing recommendations regarding the ARMORFILM Ballistic Thermally Activated Adhesive. The part number for the tacky version, which is what I recommend in most cases, is the ARMORFILM 36900T. T for tacky. If you want the dry film, then just leave off the T in the part number, 36900. So we're going to assume that you have a hard-pressed backer. You don't have to have a hard-pressed backer. This works just as well in an autoclave with loose plies as long as you have taped four sides of your stack. And I'm just going to show you the generalities of this. If you have any specific questions, make sure that you contact me. The main thing when you get started is to cut the ARMORFILM slightly larger than the footprint of your PE backer, and then lay your ARMORFILM over the backer like that with the white liner side up. That's very important. So you need to have your white liner up. I go back and I trim this about 1/4 of an inch wider than the polyethylene backer. And I'll show you why right here in a minute when I'm finished cutting this. I'll hold it up to the camera and show you that once you pull the liner off and allow the sheet to activate, this adhesive will fold down over the edge of the backer and give it some additional protection, and it'll remain tacky as you start adding foam and hard rubber edges to it. And it gives you a little bit of extra sticking power for that edge material if you use it. Even if you don't use any edge material here, you still get the benefit of having that increased protection along the edge of the polyethylene and a seal there with very strong adhesive. So what you want to do with your white liner side up, you want to, as you peel back one corner, you hold that edge down and peel the liner off of it. What you don't want to do with ARMORFILM is allow it to stick to itself because it's very sticky. If it gets rolled over or folded over on itself, you won't be able to release it at all. So once you have your ARMORFILM on your PE backing, then you can apply ceramic strike face. Doesn't matter if it's mosaic or monolithic, doesn't make any difference. You can apply that and press down a little bit. That tack will hold it. It won't hold it permanently, but it'll help you get all your components together and get some tape on it. And so I do the same thing here. I'll cut it about a 1/2 inch wider. I'll press down. I'll trim it. Now peel it. And then as you peel that corner up, roll that adhesive down over the first layer of ARMORFILM, and that'll kind of hold it as you peel the liner off of it like that. So here you have the ceramic strike face, you have your ARMORFILM, and now this top layer of ARMORFILM is ready for lots of different materials. The great thing about ARMORFILM is that it will bond dissimilar materials very well. So if whether or not you're using polyethylene crack arrestor, you're using a carbon fiber, aramid fiber crack arrestor like that, you're ready to go here, except for you can tape it together like that. And then you can put some release liner on it, and you can put it in vacuum film or a vacuum bag at that point. And you can see how that ARMORFILM has laid down over the outside edges of this armor plate. And that's nice because it protects it, it seals it, it makes for a tacky surface for your other edges that may go on here after activation. One note about taking the release film off. If you use release film in a vacuum bag, make sure that you get the release film off of it before about 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Otherwise, it's very difficult to get the release film off of your plate. I'm not talking about the Armor film. I'm talking about the material that you put on here before you put it into a vacuum bag, your release film. So that's about it, but just remember that the Armor film, the advantage of it is that it will bond dissimilar materials together very well. So if you're using carbon fiber or aramid fiber, polyethylene, ceramic, whether it's silicon carbide or alumina or some other type of amalgam, plus on the top, any kind of material that you can think of, it usually bonds well with, whether it's carbon fiber, aramid fiber, PE as a crack arrestor, or some other material, it will bond it very well. The other advantage to ARMORFILM is that it will activate at a lower temperature than your traditional ballistic films. This will begin to melt at about 200 degrees Fahrenheit at the 2-hour mark. So you may have to leave your armor in there to process a little bit longer, but you will have a better melt rate at a slightly lower temperature that helps protect the molecular change in the PE backing. So you don't have to burn up your PE to get the adhesive sheet to activate, and that protects the integrity of that polyethylene backer. That's the beauty of ARMORFILM, in addition to its ability to bond dissimilar materials together. Hope that helps, but contact us with additional questions or recommendations based on your own use. Remember that the customer is responsible for the performance of their armor system. So make sure you do plenty of research, plenty of testing, ask as many questions as you want to. We're glad to provide some advice, but ultimately responsibility is the customer for the performance and applicability of our ARMORFILM adhesives into your system. Thank you for watching.